What is up, everybody? Renfail here. Hopefully you're doing well. It is time for my initial review of Avowed. If you've never watched my channel before, I do a 3-part review series. We start with the early thoughts video, which happens after the first stream. We've already done that video. The link to that is down below. After around 20 to 25 hours of gameplay, I do the initial review, which is this video, and then whenever we've finally finished a game, we do the final review, which will be forthcoming. In each video, I address the thoughts at the time, and then I adjust my thoughts around the game as we get deeper and deeper into the game. As such, sometimes my initial thoughts around a game might be very positive and could skew towards the negative over a 3-part review series, and sometimes they start a little bit negative and can end up more positive by the time we get through a game. But we do a pretty comprehensive review process here, so if you want to watch the whole series, make sure to check those links below. And before I dive into this, understand that there might be some spoiler sections. I do try to keep these relatively spoiler free, but you're probably going to see some map content, you're probably going to see the names of quests, you're probably going to see some of that type of stuff as I go through like the UI and show people the quest journal and the codex and the locations, like what's behind us and so on and so forth. So if you're absolutely adamant that you don't want anything spoiled, even if it's not intentionally spoiled, well, I can't help you, because in order to review a game, you have to talk about stuff, and the very fact that you're here wanting to know about the game means that you should already know that. So let's dive in. Early thoughts. Had a great time. A few hours into the game. We're over 20 hours now. This game has me by the short and curlies. It cooked. Obsidian cooked so hard with this game. I did a video yesterday about how it's more than I hoped it would be. I am playing on the Xbox Series X. I have had a flawless experience. 0 bugs, 0 performance issues, nothing but good times, and straight ahead, just balls to the walls, fun. My initial review at this point in time is that this is a solid 10 out of 10 experience for me. And it's just, for me, it's everything I want out of an Obsidian game. It's got deep RPG choices in the conversations with NPCs as well as my companions. It has a faction system. It has all of those like nods back to the original 2 games in terms of the lore, and it's different. Like, as much fondness as I have for the first 2 games in terms of them being top-down CRPG kind of party-based games, this is something different, and that's one of the reasons I'm having so much fun with this, is because it's something different. Like, I'm very happy that Obsidian took a risk here and did something out of the box with this franchise and said, you know what, we already did 2 great games in that, Pillars of Eternity system. Let's take the world of Yore, expand upon it, take the lore of the gods and animancy and, the godlikes and everything else, and let's play around with that with a different playstyle. Now, I purposefully have been spending my time in first person, but you can, of course, switch between first and third based on your personal preferences. I'm a wizard, Harry. I am playing a wand and grimoire character, and I am playing a first person. I do have a bow. I actually don't use the bow in combat. I use the bow for... There are some environmental challenges that I've come across where you're shooting things down from the walls and stuff, where I prefer to use my bow for those systems. But otherwise, I have been sticking to entirely first person with my experience, and I absolutely love everything about this system, because it is so refreshing to be able to pull this out and be like, I'm gonna cast a spell and do something like this. Oh, it feels so good, and then I want to do this. And then I want to maybe like do this. Maybe I want to cast a fireball. And then maybe I want to do a little bit of lightning. Like, I just absolutely... Oh, by the way, wand. And then charge it up and bam! I just absolutely love the magic system in this game. And the grimoire system has carried over from the first 2 games. I like that fact. But I just love the fact that this is for me, I'm playing this in first person. I've been having a great time. I have my first 2 companions who are with me. They should be around here somewhere. These 2 guys. And it's nice to have a party system. It's nice to have these guys with me. I like the fact that they are relatively independent of me, but if I need to, I can bring up this menu and they have different abilities that I can use. Top three on this side or for one companion, top three on the other side or for the other companion. So you have the ability to these guys will use their abilities independent of you, but you also have the option to bring this up. And by the way, when you bring this up, it completely pauses gameplay. So you still have that real time with pause, which we saw in the original Pillars of Eternity games. It's right here at your disposal. You can pause the game, bring up this menu, your hands free completely, choose what you want to do, and then get right back into it from there. Um, so the combat feels very, very good. The world looks absolutely amazing. This is the second zone that you'll come to. Lighthouse off in the distance. The day-night cycle here brings different um, ambiance to the zone. That part's here. One of the things I really love about this is they brought back the original difficulty system. If you remember this from the Pillar of Eternity games, this is still here. So no skulls means that it's an even conquest or below you, and then one skull is slightly above you, and then three skulls means it's really, really, really challenging, and it's probably going to kick your ass. So it's been really nice to see that here. The other thing I really appreciate, let's go ahead and go to a camp, which I kind of touched on this in, I think, it might have been, I think I maybe briefly talked about this in the early thoughts video. Um, but I could talk about it in greater detail here because the item upgrade system, and it's cool because like the first time you go up against some enemies, it's like, hey, these enemies are harder than they might, it's a little bit harder than what you're used to. You probably need to go back to camp and upgrade your gear. So they kind of let you know in advance that, hey, you need to go back and upgrade your stuff from common to fine. And then they just, as you go through here, it's like you need to understand that there are these tiers to your items, and if you want to continue to do good damage against enemies, or if you want to be able to resist the damage from those enemies, you need to be upgrading your gear as you go throughout the game. And if you don't do that, you're going to find yourself coming up against encounters that are impossible or extremely difficult to overcome, even if your level might be higher, because your gear sucks. So the gear leveling in this game and the gear upgrade system is pretty cool the way all this works. I've quite enjoyed this. It can be a bit grindy for some people, but I have found that as I'm out there exploring these zones, I have found plenty of resources to keep my gear on par with my levels, and I haven't had any problems with any of the encounters so far. I'm playing on normal difficulty. I would say, I've died a couple of times on some of the boss mobs, just learning their mechanics. But for the most part, normal difficulty is challenging, but not overly so. We do have a pretty big map system. Let's go to the Living Lands map. This is the overall world map. I'm 20 hours into the game, and I'm just now into the second region, which is Emerald Stair. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. I spent about, I would say, 15 hours in Dawnshore before I moved into the Emerald Stair, and since then I've been in Emerald Stair. And then I've just today during the stream actually went back and cleared up some bounties in the Dawnshore region, which means we've 100% cleared the Dawnshore, I think, other than some totem quests, which are side quest, like random optional things you can do. But the cool thing is, like, the size of these zones is very impressive. So just in a few hours of exploration, this is about 5 hours of exploring, is going through this section of the map. The green stuff is what I've cleared. And so you can kind of get an idea of how big this zone is, given the fact that in 5 hours I've only explored this much of the territory. So this goes back to how I've heard some people who have taken their time with the game are getting 60 to 80 hour playthroughs. I'm still anticipating something in the ballpark of around 50 hours because I'm not trying to do a completionist version because I want to do different roleplay playthroughs. So this version, I'm just sort of doing everything I come across, but I'm not trying to do every single little bounty quest or every single little totem side quest and stuff. I'm mostly just sticking to main quests and things that are along the path to main quests. So it's quite a big game. Like I said, I have been very pleased with everything I've seen so far. The voice acting is great. We've got some talent who we've heard and seen in other games, especially for those of you with nostalgia for their games of the past and also other games from BioWare. Um, the uh, the breakdown of like music between the exterior music and then there's dungeons and the city and the music between there. The cities have been very well designed. I love the verticality in cities. So this game has a lot of traversal. So there's a parkour system in this game that's incredibly well done. There's actually some things you can do to boost your arbor and your stats to make the parkour faster, but there's a lot of puzzles in this game and treasures that you can find by using the verticality of the zones, especially when you're in city environments, to your advantage. Also in external environments as well, and in the dungeons. Like there have been a lot of dungeons that we've explored too. And I know it's not a big deal to me, but I know some people have mentioned it. They really appreciate the fact that you can make, I'm not going to use the word evil because they're not evil decisions, but you can make decisions and take care of encounters in ways that are not necessarily the nice guy option. I am playing a nice guy character with this particular build. This is my wizard. He's a nice guy. He's a chaotic good character. My thief character that I'm going to be bringing through the game later on is not going to be so nice, so I will make different decisions for him. So it's nice to have that at your disposal and see sort of, Obsidian not shying away from having good and, I don't want to say bad, but like morally gray decisions and outcomes to things. That's very refreshing, because not a lot of games are willing to do that anymore. A lot of games want to only push you towards being the good guy all the time. So again, at the end of the day, my initial review is that I am 10 out of 10 for this. Like, zero complaints, zero bad things to say, no bugs, no performance issues. My experience on the Xbox Series X has been flawless. I'm having absolute phenomenal time. It's everything I could have wanted from the next game in the Pillars of Eternity series and more. I'm very, very happy with this. Obsidian deserves all the praise. I cannot wait for Outer Worlds 2 coming later this year, and I'm definitely going to be doing more than one playthrough of this game because I totally need to come back now with my traditional thief build, who in the first two games used a rapier and a pistol in the offhand, and I can't wait to do that build here for my second playthrough. In the meantime, we've got a lot of territory to cover ahead of us still because we got to finish the game so that I can do my final review. And see whether or not I bring that score down a bit or not. But as of right now, I have nothing bad to say. And yeah, I'm having a great time. Phenomenal experience. Love to hear your thoughts. Drop them down in the comments below. Don't forget daily streams every single day on YouTube and Twitch around 6 a.m. Central. And sometimes we start earlier because my alarm's at 4. Sometimes I'm live at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So you just got to be there bright and early because we wake up together, we drink lots of coffee together, and we play games together, and we have fun as a community. So see you in the next one. Stay safe out there, everybody. Happy gaming.